You may think you've left the beginner stage behind, but here's the truth. Most riders still make at least one mistake that screams rookie. From clutch habits to cornering posture, these small details reveal more than you realize. Today, we're breaking down 11 signs you're still a beginner rider, and how to fix them before they cost you. Let's kick it off with one that almost every rider denies doing until they catch themselves. Sign number 11. You cover the clutch like it's a panic button. Notice how your fingers rest on that clutch lever. New riders keep them glued there constantly. A slight wobble? Grab the clutch. Sudden noise? Grab the clutch. Car merges too close? You guessed it. Clutch. It feels safe, but that constant hovering makes riding harder and more unpredictable. Mechanics spot this instantly. That nervous clutch finger is the universal mark of inexperience. When you ride with fingers hovering over the clutch, your throttle hand can't work smoothly. Your acceleration becomes choppy. Your rhythm disappears. The bike acts nervous because you're riding nervous. Experienced riders know the clutch isn't for panic. It's for control. Smooth power delivery makes a rider look composed. Constant clutch grabbing tells everyone you're unsure. Another giveaway? Coasting through corners with the clutch half pulled. Wrong. You lose traction and stability. Skilled riders keep the clutch out, throttle steady, and let the bike flow naturally. To fix this, ride with only one or two fingers on the clutch. On straight roads, release your grip completely. Trust the bike. Once you break that habit, your ride smooths out and your control improves. And if clutch panic is the first rookie reflex, the next sign is even more revealing. It's the one that shows you still haven't learned how to actually see like a rider. This separates real riders from nervous ones instantly. Beginners stare at the road right in front of their wheel, especially when cornering. It feels safer, but that's dangerous. Looking down limits your reaction time, breaks your balance, and makes every move feel rushed. Instructors hammer this. Your motorcycle goes where your eyes go. It's physics. Watch what happens in turns. A beginner fixates on the ground near the apex, which leads to running wide or braking mid-turn. A seasoned rider looks far ahead through the curve, scanning for exit points early. Their head movement is calm and confident. New riders have stiff necks and hunched shoulders because they're looking down and reacting late. Experienced riders look relaxed because they're anticipating everything 5, 10, even 15 seconds ahead. To fix this, constantly scan 2 to 4 seconds ahead. On your next ride, move your eyes toward the exit of every turn. Not your front tire, your eyes. At first it feels uncomfortable. Fight that instinct. Keep your vision up and out. After a few rides, it becomes natural. Your movements become predictive instead of reactive. Once you shake this habit, your entire perspective changes. Literally. And while not looking ahead can get you in trouble fast, the next sign reveals something just as risky. When your body is ready to ride, but your mind hasn't caught up. White-knuckled grip, stiff arms, locked knees. That freeze whenever something unpredictable happens. Your instinct is to tighten up, but tension is the enemy of control. When you ride stiff, your body stops communicating with the bike. Every bump feels harsher. Every turn feels harder. Mechanics can tell immediately just by watching handlebars. Jerky inputs. No fluidity. Experienced riders look like they're barely trying. Their bodies move with the bike. Here's the irony. Relaxing doesn't mean being careless. It means trusting the bike. Motorcycles self-stabilize. But a tense rider interrupts that balance. If your shoulders are stiff or elbows locked, even the smoothest machine feels unpredictable. One trick is the wiggle test. While riding straight, try loosening your shoulders and shaking your elbows. If you can't, you're too tense. Check your grip. White knuckles mean you're holding too tight. To fix, focus on breathing. When you exhale, your body relaxes. Grip the tank with your thighs and press heels down while keeping arms relaxed. Loose on top, tight on bottom. Next time you hit an unexpected bump, remind yourself, the bike knows what it's doing, and if stiffness gives you away as a beginner, the next sign might surprise you, because it's something even confident riders forget. This sounds simple, but it's one of the easiest ways to tell a beginner from a seasoned rider. You can have perfect balance and smooth throttle control, but if you forget to shoulder check, you're riding on borrowed luck. That's dangerous. Motorcycles are small. That's both their advantage and their danger. Cars, vans, even cyclists can vanish from your mirrors completely, sitting right beside your rear wheel. New riders assume their mirrors give them the full picture. They don't. Instructors say this mistake shows up constantly. You'll see a rider confidently change lanes. No signal, no shoulder glance, then get blasted by a horn from the car they didn't see. It's not recklessness. It's underestimating how invisible you really are. The fix is simple, but takes consistency. Every lane change, every merge. Quick mirror scan, shoulder check, then move. It should feel like second nature. Practice deliberate checks. Before every lane change, make it a 3-step rhythm. Mirror, shoulder, move. Say it out loud if you need to. On city streets, check your 6 constantly. On highways, scan your mirrors every 5 to 8 seconds. That extra second to glance over your shoulder could be the difference between a close call and a crash. Don't skip it. And if blind spots are easy to forget, the next habit shows that some beginners are still fighting their bike in a basic way. But before we move on, give this video a quick like and subscribe so you never miss a tip and never make the same riding mistakes again. Pay attention to your engine sound. Is it screaming at low speeds? Lugging at higher ones? That's a telltale sign. Beginners often ride in too high a gear thinking it's smoother, or stay too low because they're afraid to shift. Both are wrong. Riding in the wrong gear kills your throttle response, makes the bike sluggish, and strains the engine. Experienced riders match their gear to the situation. City traffic? Lower gears for quick response. Highway cruising? Higher gears for smooth power. The engine should sound healthy and responsive, not screaming or struggling. If you twist the throttle and nothing happens, you're too high. If the engine screams and barely accelerates, you're too low. To fix, learn your bike's power band. Most bikes are happiest between 3,000 and 7,000 RPM. Stay in that range. When you slow for a turn, downshift. When you accelerate onto a highway, upshift smoothly. Listen to your engine. It'll tell you when it's happy. Match your gear to your speed and the road ahead. If you're approaching a slow turn, downshift early. If traffic opens up, shift up and let the bike breathe. Once you master gear selection, your riding becomes smoother and more responsive. And if wrong gears expose your inexperience, the next sign shows that many beginners haven't figured out how a motorcycle actually stops. Are you that rider who only uses the rear brake? That's a big mistake. Here's why. The front brake provides about 70% of your stopping power. Using only the rear leaves you taking longer to stop and risks skidding the back wheel. New riders are often scared of the front brake. They've heard horror stories about flipping over the handlebars, so they default to the rear. But the truth is, the front brake, when used correctly, is your most powerful tool. Think about physics. When you brake, weight transfers forward. The front tire gets more traction. The rear gets less. That's why the front brake is so effective, and why the rear can lock up easily. To fix this, Learn smooth combined braking. When you need to stop, roll off the throttle. Gently squeeze the front brake lever, then add a little rear brake with your foot. This distributes the load and shortens your stopping distance. Find an empty parking lot and practice. Start at 15 or 20 miles per hour. Feel how the bike responds. You'll feel the bike squat forward under good braking. That's normal. That's weight transfer working for you. Every experienced rider knows both brakes matter. If you're ignoring the front, you're ignoring 70% of your stopping power. And speaking of braking, the next sign shows that most beginners have never actually tested their limits when it matters most. Be honest. Have you ever intentionally practiced hard braking? Not just slowing for a red light, full emergency stops. If your answer is no, you'll panic the first time it's needed. That's dangerous. I once had a student who bragged he didn't need practice. Then he froze in a sudden stop, grabbed too much front brake, locked the wheel, nearly went down, all because he'd never trained his body for that moment. You can't stay cool if you've never felt what hard braking is like. You can't react instinctively if you've never built the reflex. To build that reflex, go to a deserted lot and do drill stops. At 20 to 30 miles per hour, brake as hard as you safely can. Feel the bike squat. Feel the weight transfer. Feel the limit of traction. Release if you feel a skid. Repeat until your body and bike know what to do. Schedule practice sessions every few weeks. Vary your speed. Over time, you'll react instinctively when a child darts out or traffic slams on its brakes. An experienced rider trains deliberately. If you're skipping this, it's a clear sign you're still at a novice level. Practice your emergency stops. It could save your life. And if you've never practiced stopping, the next sign reveals you might not know how to turn properly either. Watch a beginner approach a turn. They slow way down. Sit bolt upright. Try to steer around it like they're driving a car. The bike feels unstable and uncomfortable. That's because motorcycles don't turn by steering alone. They turn by leaning. And if you're resisting that lean, you're fighting the bike's most basic function. New riders panic at the idea of leaning. It feels like you're going to fall over. So they stay upright and try to muscle the bike through with the handlebars. The result? Poor lines and rough handling. Here's the reality. Cornering isn't about bravery. It's about trust. You have to trust your tires, your lean angle, and your balance. Beginners tense up, grab the bars tight, and look directly at the curb. And when you look at the curb, guess where you go? Right toward it. Experienced riders know the secret. The bike goes where your eyes go. They turn their head. Look through the exit. Let the bike flow naturally. Their body moves with the machine. Elbows loose, knees hugging the tank. Throttle steady. The mantra is slow. Look, lean, roll. Slow down before the curve. Look through the turn. Lean the bike. Roll on throttle smoothly. Practice gentle lean turns in an empty parking lot. Focus on where you're looking and keeping your hands relaxed. Don't fight the bike. Guide it. The more you trust it, the smoother it becomes. And if your corners still feel shaky, the next sign shows that sometimes it's not your handling that gives you away. It's how you treat your bike between rides. One of the biggest tells that you're still a beginner? You only think about your motorcycle when it's time to ride. You grab your helmet, turn the key, go. But veterans, they're checking the chain, tire pressure, oil level, and lights before even starting the engine. Mechanics say most problems they fix for newer riders could have been prevented with 2 minutes of attention. A loose chain, low tire pressure, or weak battery doesn't happen overnight. Experienced riders catch them early. Beginners find out the hard way. New riders see maintenance as extra work. Experienced riders see it as part of the experience. They understand that the bike talks. Small noises, clutch feel, vibration changes. These things tell you everything if you pay attention. A quick pre-ride check makes a difference. Walk around your bike, squeeze the tires. They should feel firm. Test the brakes. Check the chain slack. It should have about an inch of play. Make sure your blinkers work. Check your oil level. It takes 1 minute, but it's the difference between finishing a ride or calling a tow truck. Create a checklist. Before every ride, do a quick walk around. After every few rides, clean and lube your chain. Check tire pressure weekly. If your bike feels off, it probably is. When you start treating maintenance as routine, not a chore, you stop being a beginner. And if skipping maintenance marks you as new, the next sign shows that even the way you sit on your bike can expose your inexperience. You can always tell when someone hasn't grown into their motorcycle. Their posture gives them away. They grip the handlebars like they're holding on for dear life. Elbows locked, shoulders stiff, knees floating away from the tank, feet flat on the pegs. It's not bad riding, it's nervous riding. And that's what separates beginners from the experienced. The way you position yourself changes everything about how the bike handles. When your body works with the bike, cornering becomes smoother. Braking feels stable. But when your posture is rigid, every movement feels like a fight. Mechanics say this shows up during test rides. A new rider sits bolt upright, fighting balance. Their bike wobbles at low speeds. Their arms tire quickly. Their steering feels twitchy. An experienced rider glides through the same path. Relaxed elbows, firm knees, light hands, steady throttle. Good riding posture is simple. Elbows bent slightly out, knees gripping the tank lightly, upper body centered over the bike. Your hands should guide the handlebars, not strangle them. When cornering, your eyes and shoulders should lead your lean, not your arms. Consciously check your body position while riding. Are your elbows bent or locked? Is your grip light or tight? Are your knees touching the tank? Adjust as needed. Loose on top, tight on bottom. Once you figure out that rhythm, your riding instantly feels smoother. The bike becomes an extension of you instead of something you're trying to tame. And if your posture still needs work, the final sign proves that sometimes it's not your body or your gear that gives you away. It's what's going on inside your head. The last and most revealing sign isn't mechanical at all. It's mental. No matter how many miles you've logged, if you still ride with tension in your shoulders, a racing mind, or constant second-guessing, you're not yet fully comfortable on two wheels. Confidence doesn't mean being fearless. It means being calmly aware. Experienced riders don't panic when a car drifts too close, a dog runs out, or wind hits. Their reactions are smooth, automatic. Beginners still process every moment like a surprise. You can see it. Tight grip, sudden throttle roll-offs, over-braking mid-turn. It's not lack of skill, it's lack of ease. You can't force confidence. It builds only through consistent, mindful practice. The more seat time you get, the more natural everything feels. But beginners often rush the process, trying to look experienced instead of becoming experienced. The most seasoned riders still respect every ride. They stay alert, but relaxed. Cautious, but not fearful. They understand their limits, and that's what keeps them safe. Adopt a learner's mindset. Consider an advanced riding class. Review basics like clutch control, emergency maneuvers, or cornering technique. Continual practice ensures you keep progressing. If you're still overthinking every maneuver or getting distracted by what others are doing, you're still finding your rhythm. And that's okay. The moment you start breathing easy on the road, reading traffic naturally, and trusting your reactions, that's when you stop being a beginner. That's when you truly become a rider. Every rider starts as a beginner, but staying one is a choice. The road teaches through time, not shortcuts. Which of these habits do you still catch yourself doing? Let me know in the comments. If this helped you spot your weak points, hit like and subscribe for more riding tips. Ride smart, ride safe, and keep learning.